Hello, this is Masato Kamikubo, Professor of Policy Science. I would like to introduce myself. I have wife and daughter. This is important. I'm teaching democracy, but there is no democracy in my house. In my house, I'm living in my wife's dictatorship. Also, another dictator is emerging in my house. My daughter is 16 years old and high school student. Anyway, I graduated from Waseda University in 1991 and worked in Japanese trading companies, Itochu Corporation. Don't calculate my age. Maybe I look younger than my real age. I quit the company in 1999 and moved to the UK. I attended master course and PhD course in University of Warwick, UK. I was awarded the PhD in Politics and International Studies by University of Warwick in 2008. Then I returned to Japan and got a job in Ritsumeikan University in 2010. Basically, I'm political scientist. In my PhD thesis, I studied the policy-making process of Japan's Ministry of Finance. Then, my research area is naturally expanding, not only domestic politics, but also international political economy, because Ministry of Finance makes national budget. All policies need budget. So I'm studying all policy issues through investigating Ministry of Finance. Today, I'd like to talk about political party and party system. As you know, political party is one of the most important organizations in not only liberal democratic states, but also authoritarian states. Therefore, I would like to explain basic knowledge of political party as an introduction to policy science. Firstly, I'd like to talk about political party. What is political party? This is the definition. Political party is a group that field candidates at elections in order to win public office and control government. In the 20th century, parties mobilized millions of people into the national political process. Political party has become part of the system, providing function ranging from being very foundation of government to aggregate interest, mobilizing voters, and recruiting candidates for offices. I would like to tell you the function of political party more specifically. First function is policy making. Political party absorbs opinions and interests of business circles, trade unions, industrial organizations, and supporters in constituencies. Political party coordinate several opinions and interests in order to make policies. And political party select candidates through several recruiting systems such as candidate screening test, recommendation from trade union and other organizations, and selecting hereditary politicians. Political parties selecting leaders as a candidate of prime minister and forming government through parties' presidential election and parliamentary vote on prime minister. Also, ministers are appointed from the ruling party. Furthermore, political parties encourage citizens to participate in political activities. Next, I'd like to talk about party system. What is a party system? This is definition. Party system is the overall configuration of the political parties based on the numbers. In political science, party system is very important to investigate because party system decides characteristics of political system, society, culture, and people. Secondly, there is a typology of political system. Firstly, no party system. No political parties are allowed to compete with the ruler's authority. There are a small number of authoritarian states, mainly in the Middle East, that either do not allow political parties to form and operate, or where no parties have been formed. Examples are Oman, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and so on. Next, single party system. Single party system was once common, being found throughout the communist world, as well as in most African and Arab countries. Example is China, North Korea, Cuba, Laos, and Vietnam. Most famous example is the Chinese Communist Party. Chinese Communist Party is the source of all meaningful political power, control all other political organizations, play a key role in deciding the outcome of elections, and dominate both state and government. Next, dominant party system. One party outdistances all the others and becomes the natural party of government, even if sometimes govern in coalition with junior partners. Most famous case is Japan's Liberal Democratic Party. The LDP has governed the country since 1955, for break in 1993 to 1994 and 2009 to 2012. The LDP has kept power for many reasons, including its association with Japan's post-war economic renaissance and impressive network of grassroots supporter groups, the distribution patronage to its own electoral district, and inability of opposition parties to mount an effective challenge. Two-party system. Two major parties of comparable size compete for electoral support, providing framework for political competition while the other parties exert little, if any, influence on the formation and policies of government. Two major parties alternate in power, with one or the other always enjoying a majority. Multi-party system. Several parties, typically at least 5 or 6, win a significant block of seats in the legislature. Several parties become serious contenders for a place in a governing coalition. Political party represent a specific social group or opinion, such as environmentalists in divided society. The legislature then serves as an arena of conciliation, with coalition forming and failing in response to often minor changes in the political change. Then, I'd like to introduce famous theories of political system. First one is Duverger's law. French scholar Maurice Duverger found the relationship between the electoral system and party system. Duverger argued single-member district system creates a two-party system. On the other hand, proportional representation system creates a multi-party system. Also, I'd like to introduce Giovanni Sartori's typology. Sartori categorized party system into 4 types. Firstly, the two-party system. Example is United Kingdom. Second one is a moderate multiple system. Example, Germany, Benelux countries, and Scandinavian countries. Third one is the dominant party system. Of course, some example is Japan's Liberal Democratic Party. Fourth one is a polarized pluralism. Is Italy, French Republic, Fourth Republic. Next is I'd like to introduce Arendt Leibfeld typology of democracies. Duverger, Sartori, and other scholars highly evaluate the two-party system because two-party system creates a very stable society through the majoritarian rule. But Arendt Leibfeld criticized the two-party system. Leibfeld argued there are competition between two systems, majority vote system and consensus building society, democracy. Majority vote type include the two-party system, dominant party system, and moderate multiple system, and polarized pluralism. On the other hand, in the consensus building democracy, representation minorities such as women and racial minorities can participate in the legislature. Therefore, Leibfeld claims consensus building democracy has an advantage. I'd like to introduce Anthony Downs. Downs was not originally political scientist, but economist. However, Downs becomes a pioneer to introduce economic approach to political science. He was a founder of public choice theory. Public choice theory is one of the most important areas in the political science. Before Downs, political science mainly analyzed law and systems. After Downs, actors' rational choice in economic theory applied to the political actors. I'm talking about the Downs theory. Firstly, Downs proposition. Downs argued a politician does not become a politician to make policy, but rather make policies in order to be a politician. Maybe you can understand. Next is the Downs axis. Downs introduced the left-right axis to economic theory. On the left, he placed the communist parties who want to entirely state-planned economy. On the right, Conservative Party, who demand an entirely deregulated economy. Downs claimed a two-party democracy can provide a stable and effective government when unless there is a large measures of ideological consensus among its citizens. Second, parties in a two-party system deliberately change their platform so that they resemble one another. In a two-party system, it is rational for each party to encourage voters to be irrational by making its platform vague and ambiguous. This theory is applicable to the politics in democratic countries. In democratic countries, populist parties are emerging now. Why? Because two parties trying to get city voters to win the election. As a result, original supporters of the two parties in countryside tend to be neglected. They complain to two parties and support populist party. Okay, let's move on to the party organization. I'm talking about the several types of party organization. Party organizations are classified into 4 types. First one is elite-based party. Elite-based party consists of members of socialist elite, particularly members of parliament, who agree to cooperate politically in the spirit of principles and goals. Example is the European Conservative Party, such as UK Conservatives, CDU, Christian Democratic Union in Germany, and Liberal Democratic Party in Japan, and both Republican and Democrat in USA. It is important that elite parties, despite their origin in the elite, need not to be elitist. Important characteristics of elite parties are catch-all party and patron-client relationship. I'd like to explain them. Elite party represent no ideology. In other words, elite party supports ideologies as diverse and conflicting as classical liberalism, nationalism, and aristocracy elitism. Elite parties distribute benefit to supporters and constituencies for seeking to attract people with diverse viewpoints and should appeal to more of the electorate. It is so-called pork barrel politics. Next, mass party. Mass party is contrast to elite-based party. Mass party largely consists of masses of laymen. Mass party is elitist because small number of elite centrally control mass people. Example of mass party are Nazi Germany, Hitler, or communist parties. Third type is intermediate type. This type is intermediate between elite-based and mass parties. Example is a Social Democratic Party in European countries. For example, the British Labour, SPD in Germany, Social Democratic Party in Scandinavian countries. Basically, trade union indirectly collect party supporters. Next is a new type of party, Networking party. Several groups such as civic movement, NGO, think tank, and so on form political network. They are using SNS and expanding network. Networking party focus on a single issue such as environment. Most famous example is the German Green Party. But also left-wing and right-wing populist party are included in the networking party. In the world, youth democratic movement is forming a new network parties in several countries and regions such as Taiwan, Hong Kong, and so on. Finally, I'm going to tell you several types of political participation through political party. Firstly, party membership. Party membership was an important channel for participation in politics. However, it seems old style of political participation. In most major European countries, party membership has dramatically decreased between the 1960s and the 1990s. I'd like to tell you the causes of recent reduction in membership. Firstly, traditional goal divisions such as class and religion are weakened. Secondly, the bond linking labor union and the socialist parties are loosened. Thirdly, in an era of media-based campaign, local electioneering are decayed. Fourthly, social movement and social media are expanding. Finally, there are cases of corruption linked to parties. As a result, political parties lose support of people. Secondly, political participation is selecting party leader. A traditional method for choosing party leader is election by member of party in the legislature. Example is Australia, Denmark, and New Zealand. But several parties give a voice both to members of parliament and ordinary members, either through a special congress or the two-stage ballot. Example is the British Conservatives presidential election. A ballot party member is an alternative and increasing popular method of selecting leaders. Now is in many countries, not only politicians but also the ordinary members can participate in the selecting party leaders. Third political participation is to become candidate. There are several options available for selecting legislative candidates, ranging from selection by the party leader to an open vote of entire electorate. Local parties are the active force, either acting autonomously or putting forward nomination to be ratified at national level. The nomination task is constrained by three wider features of political system. Firstly, electoral system. Choosing candidate for individual constituencies in a plurality system is a more decentralized task than preparing a single national list in a party list system. Major party use a nominating committee to examine applications received either from local branches or directly from individuals. In the United States, primary session enabled parties' supporters to choose their candidate for a particular office. Secondly, incumbent is a constraint. Sitting members of legislature have advantage almost everywhere using achieving reselection. Third constraint is the rules. Nearly all countries impose conditions such as citizenship on members of the legislature, while many parties have also adopted gender quotas for candidates. Okay, today's lecture is finished. Today I talked about political party, which is one of the most important research areas in political science. As a political scientist, I want to say to policy science students that all policies are realized through politics. Politics is the coordination of people's interests. Even if policy is advantageous to a large selection of the population, there are always some people who lose interest. No country or society can advance if it ignores such negative aspects. In reality, policy must be hammered out through a process which is comprehensive to a large number of people. Therefore, I understand research interests of policy science students are diversified, but please study politics. For all policy issues, politics is very important. Thank you very much. My lecture is finished.